Trump recently made some incredibly stunning remarks that will have a completely wild influence on prices and forever alter the digital asset market. In addition to his already full week, Trump just made a few more significant remarks. This is going to be even more of a roller coaster than I had anticipated from my prior videos. The beginning of April doesn't seem to be going to be all that different from the beginning of February and March, as you are all aware. It might possibly be even more turbulent than the previous few months, if anything. You're lucky, though, because you can profit greatly if you time your purchases well during these volatile times. However, I only want to discuss what Trump is saying. What's happening? Since it's insane. Alright, it's completely crazy. First of all, I would like to draw attention to the fact that this week is packed with important events. Alright, the March jobs report is here. On Friday, Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, will give a speech. That Wednesday is President Trump's Liberation Day. All of these enormous events are taking place in a single week. For example, it's crazy that Jerome Powell will talk the day after the March jobs data, because we'll have a clear notion of his plans. Jerome Powell will be able to give background information and discuss the tariffs that will be implemented on Wednesday. Therefore, I will undoubtedly be live streaming it, and I will most likely be live streaming on Liberation Day as well, since the markets will be going in all directions, up, down, left, and right. On top of all of this, though, there are other things that are occurring that are even more bizarre, don't you think? Investors are wondering what will happen now, April 1st, April 2nd, and of course Wednesday, as he is adding a number of other unexpected events to the mix. In essence, the Trump administration is stating that they anticipate tariffs would increase by $600 billion a year, of which $100 billion will come from vehicle levies alone. Additionally, this is happening at a time when other states are also eliminating their income taxes, creating a very intriguing economic situation in the U.S. Since this is something that is being discussed going live and Europe is working to prevent it from happening, as well as now talking with Trump, we have yet to see just how much of an impact these tariffs will have on automobile costs. We don't yet know if these tariffs will be implemented or not. In other words, nothing is 100% definite, particularly in the case of Trump. However, we'll have to wait and see how things work out. The cost of automobiles will increase slightly if auto tariffs remain in place, but as more states remove their income taxes, as we've seen, prices and the total cost per taxpayer, their spending, and other factors will likely remain somewhat more stable. The dynamic is going to be rather intriguing. However, it is also evident that Trump is upgrading the war negotiations. This is the curveball then. Many people weren't prepared for this. In essence, President Trump threatened to destroy Iran and impose further tariffs if they failed to reach an agreement with the U.S. on nuclear programs. If an agreement to halt the war in Ukraine is not reached, he further threatens to impose 25 to 50% tariffs on Russian oil. Alright, I don't think anyone really anticipated this. Alright, so regardless of the administration, the relationship between the U.S. and Iran has always been hostile. Although Trump and Putin were never completely on the same page, they were undoubtedly much more cordial than previous administrations. He is genuinely attempting to speak with Putin, which, to be honest, I am in favor of if you can put an end to a conflict. But it's going to be ridiculous when he comes out and imposes these taxes on Putin. Putin is making it quite obvious that he believes it will be extremely impossible to reach any kind of peace deal with Ukraine since, in his own words, Ukraine will only strive to carry on the conflict. I'm not sure how Putin will react to this, though. Having said that, it appears from Zelensky's statements that he is also not very interested in ending the war. Based on some of his recent statements, it appears that he wants to invade Russia. Thus, the situation is rather disorganized. We can all probably agree. War is bad for everyone. We really ought to try to stop this whole thing. But, whether you like it or not, oil is the energy that powers the globe today. So we cannot understate the impact this will have on the markets, particularly anything involving it. Our infrastructure is entirely based on oil. The remainder of the markets will therefore be impacted if oil prices fluctuate, rise, or fall. Depending on investor attitude, commodities have a significant impact on digital assets. Do they have the courage to take chances, etc.? And we always know what happens here when new wars break out, like the one that may be raging in Iran right now with Trump threatening to bomb them. As we've seen in the markets many times, the basic pattern at the beginning of a war or the implementation of tariffs is a major drop followed by a monumental rally. This has been demonstrated time and time again, including during the early stages of the war in Ukraine, Israel, and the tariffs that Trump has placed on numerous occasions in recent history. I'm here to inform you that this is true, so it doesn't matter if you're keeping an eye on the markets or not. So I really wanted to talk about this because from a technological standpoint, something crazy is also happening on top of all of this. Okay? We can observe that we have once again begun to regain more neutral terrain when we examine the technical indicators, especially the Fibonacci-Bollinger Bands. Now, in general, you see either a huge move to the upside or a tremendous move to the downside very soon after touching this middle purple line right here. Therefore, you need to sort of look at all of the signs in order to determine what's likely to happen. In addition to the geopolitics I just discussed with you, you should also look at the stochastic RSI, which is another excellent tool for determining how strong or weak the market is at the moment. We are in an oversold situation according to the daily stochastic RSI for XRP. Here, we might not have noticed a cross. After that, we can see that Bitcoin is going toward oversold, but isn't quite there yet. According to my experience, this basically suggests that there is still some space for us to fall. As you can see, a perfect example is right here, where Bitcoin was beginning to decline. Naturally, there was a significant correction after that. After reaching oversold, we experienced a beautiful large gain before another significant pullback. Given that Bitcoin is continuing declining, I do believe that we will likely witness a similar event at this time. On a daily basis, XRP is slightly ahead of Bitcoin. Although it's already in the oversold position, as you can see, Bitcoin is still somewhat in the lead in the markets. There have been a few instances where XRP sort of forges forward on its own and takes off, but given the current state of geopolitics, I don't think it will happen anytime soon. In essence, we have a lot of conflicts, don't we? There are conflicts between us and Iran, Russia, and Europe. There are currently tensions in almost every nation in the globe, including Greenland and Canada. A great deal of uncertainty exists. It appears that tariffs will affect more persons than only Europeans and automakers in the future. There will also be numerous ongoing conflicts. Short-term panic selling concern is brought on by disputes. Therefore, I do believe that we will be moving much lower than the current price of $2 in coin. I do believe that we will briefly drop below $2 and after that there will be a pretty wild rally. And for that reason, I am currently getting ready. Additionally, I have a sizable amount of money in both my futures and spot trading accounts waiting for this dip so I may purchase it. Additionally, I want to ensure that you all receive this information as soon as it becomes available. So realize that it's really extremely easy. All of you can use it for nothing. I'm going to give you guys all of that information for free if you want to know exactly when to purchase, how to open a futures position, when to do it, how much leverage to use, and how much of your position to use. All of that information is freely available to you to purchase at least $100 worth of any cryptocurrency on one of the two partner exchanges. Simply click the link below to go to LeviCryptoCrusaders.com and register for an account.